Hello everyone, it's Don Antonio, and tonight I'm here to tell you how to maintain your humidor at home. I'm known around these parts as the cigar bar superstar, and I wanted to show you when you have a humidor at home and maybe it's not smelling as fresh as it once did, maybe not maintaining the humidity levels as well as it once had. I'm going to show you how to go about that. So you want to come in and take a look at my desktop humidor. This is the first one that I purchased. A good point for me to bring up is this Sure Seal. I look for that on any humidor that I'm buying, is that Sure Seal stamp. You can see here I have these metal plates for magnetizing the puck as well as the hygrometer here. And inside the box I have a divider to separate my naturals from my Maduros. And you can see a Bovita pack just to keep things conditioned. Now, what I like to do when I have a box that needs a little bit of sprucing up, I take a 120 sandpaper block like this. It has the sandpaper on the sides as well. And I like to sand the interior of the box. You don't have to go too hard, too heavy, or too much. You're just releasing the natural scent of the wood, as well as opening it up to open up the pores so that it'll absorb moisture a little bit better and keep your box better humidified. Now, I will not be sanding anywhere where the box seals the lid. So in the interior, anywhere around these edges, I will not be sanding. So I have this block on the side so it's easy for me to get up the walls on all sides, just like this for demonstration purposes, right? And then on the lid, I'll come in and I'll do the same here and here, as well as this side and down the other edge. You might want to do it a little bit more than what I've demonstrated, but I want to show you how much I've taken off on this white paper towel. I'm just going to wipe where I've sanded, and you're going to see the cedar dust from just that very light sanding. And I would be sanding this a little more if I were actually refurbishing the interior of this box right now. But look at that, all that dust. You could see that just from that little bit of sanding, I've opened things up. So when I go from the 120 grain, I move over to the grit of 400 grit. Now this will help to close those pores back a little bit because you don't want them too open. So then I would just sand the whole thing down again in all the same places around the whole box and the lid again to kind of close things down a little bit from what I've opened. Now, a lot of people will tell you to season your box by wiping it down with water. My theory is that's a dangerous practice, although it may work for some people. But when you wet the wood, it's going to absorb the water, it's going to swell, and then as it dries out, it's going to contract. And then in all of your joints here in the edges, it might open up and you'll have a leaky box. So if it was a brand new box, or if it's a refurbished box, I like to season it in the same way, which is with a rocks glass filled halfway with distilled water. I place it inside the humidor, I close it down, no hygrometer, it's only going to confuse you, and every 3 days I come back and I check the level of the water. It should go down a bit, okay? Close it back down, refill as necessary every 3 days. After about 9 days, it should be well finished. Especially if you see the glass isn't going down any longer, you can pretty much guarantee it's done. Okay? Then at that point, I would take that out. I would reintroduce this Cigar puck. It's filled with gel. It's already been conditioned with PG solution. Adhere that. It's magnetized. Okay? Really neat. A Cigar hygrometer and thermometer. So right now it's showing at 5472 here in the room. And I'll put that on the other magnetized bit, okay? And then I'll take my divider. I'll put that in my box with this beveled side down so I can get some airflow up underneath. And I'm just going to take a couple of cigars here for demonstration purposes. Okay? And just lay them in the box. You could imagine these two are Maduros. And I'll place them on this side. and 2 naturals on this side. And if you don't have a box, if you have a box that's so large and not enough cigars to fill it, a great way to help keep the humidity inside the box, and these you could wet because we're not worried about the seal on them, right? So we can actually take that, and just for this purpose here, you're going to see the color change on the cedar when it's wet, okay? And then you could just dab that off, get some of the extra moisture out of there so it doesn't leak inside your box. That's important. Or you could just sit them out on the side for 5 minutes and let it absorb into the wood. And you could fill your box with these Spanish cedar coffins that you can buy cigars in, and just lay them down in the box. That's going to help things stay at a nice relative humidity inside the box, when especially when you're opening and closing the lid. Okay, then you could shut this down, and your cigar box, your humidor, is basically refurbished. It smells of wonderful Spanish cedar. If you're going to do this very vigorously with the sanding, you may want to wear a mask. I happen to prefer the smell of Spanish cedar, so the fact that it's probably going to now reside in my nostrils for days to come is okay with me. So this is your cigar bar superstar, Don Antonio, saying take care of those humidors at home, because the humidors will take care of the cigars, and the cigars will take care of you. Stay well.